Good morning, everyone. This is part 2 of our empathy lesson. So this says, instead of putting people in their place, put yourself in their place. Empathy and understanding is the medicine that will cure what ails us. Okay, so we watched a video last time that demonstrated what it's like to think and consider about what other people might be going through. So their reactions and their behaviors don't always tell us everything, right? Sometimes, we have to consider that people are suffering underneath it all. All of us suffer from time to time. All right, so this is the 4 elements of empathy. It's a pretty good graphic just to show you the aspects of it, right? So we see their world. It's the idea that we're seeing from their perspective. We appreciate them as human beings, so there's no judgment. Doesn't matter if we see eye to eye. When our friends are suffering or the people in our lives are suffering, they want to know that somebody's there for them. Okay. They don't always need advice. They don't need you to fix their problems. Sometimes it's just about letting them communicate to you how they're feeling and communicating to them that you are there for them and that you're there to support them. And that goes along with the understanding feelings. Again, you don't have to feel the same way to understand what other people are going through. Okay, so when you see their world, again, that's you putting yourself in their shoes. Sometimes people can come to us with their struggles and we may think that they are overreacting or that it's silly, right? So that's where that judgment piece comes in. We're not going to judge them based on how they're feeling about something. Even if we don't relate, their reactions are valid. So we don't have to feel the same way to be supportive of the people we care about. It doesn't really matter how we feel about their situation. What matters is how we show up for them. Okay. And number 3, so we get that communicate understand what we feel at times, and being aware of our own emotions can help us understand the emotions of others even more. Okay. And then communicating that you understand and listen actively. Okay. Listening actively is not waiting to talk, right? That's you hearing them out and just being there and giving them the space to communicate to you how they're feeling. Okay. So these are the 4 elements of empathy. These are the things to think about if you're trying to build your own empathy. These are the aspects that can help us to get there, right? Okay, so when we empathize, we think about how we are making people feel. This can lead to changed behavior and better relationships. So it also helps us understand how we affect others, right? It's not just about how other people are affecting us or how they're feeling. It's how are we impacting them. And being aware that this can lead to more positive, fulfilling relationships, okay? Okay, so this is a part of empathy, is recognizing how we affect other people. Okay, so for the rest of this time, I'd like you to reflect on a time when you weren't as empathetic as you could have been. What did you do and what do you wish you did differently? Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. I may have told the story. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of these videos, so I don't know if I've told the story to you guys. But I'm going to tell you anyway. When I think about empathy, I think about this experience I had when I was in my first year in college. And my teacher asked us, okay, does this guy deserve to be in prison for all the things that he did? And immediately we're like, yeah, he did all these bad things. He deserves to be in jail, right? That he deserves to be, held accountable for his actions. And so the whole class was unanimously agreed that this person deserved to be in jail. And then she flipped the script a bit, and then she showed us everything that happened to him when he was a little boy. And he went through a lot of trauma and a lot of pretty horrific situations that impacted how he behaved in the world. And so then everybody started to think a little bit differently about whether or not he deserved to be where he was, because he had suffered so much and he didn't have anyone to support him in his life. Okay, so there were it's something that's always stuck with me. Okay, so that's something that I think of when I think of being empathetic. In that moment, right away, I said, no, he absolutely deserves to be in jail for the things that he's done, without taking a moment to think about, okay, or like what sort of life experiences impacted him in a negative way that caused him to get into trouble and to caused him to make these decisions, okay? There's a bigger picture that I wasn't seeing, and that's what I think of when I think of this question, okay? So I wasn't empathetic immediately, took a moment to hear about his life, and that caused me to think a little differently. What I would do differently is that I would consider that full picture instead of just making a judgment without knowing enough. So for you, for the rest of this time, I encourage you to write in your journal. Again, reflect on that time that you weren't as empathetic as you could have been. What did you do, and what would you do next time? Okay, so thanks, guys. Have a good day.